Imagine a man with a deep fascination for plants from a very young age, so much so that he was known as the plant doctor in his local community. This man was George Washington Carver, a renowned botanist, agronomist, chemist, and inventor whose contributions to agriculture changed Southern approaches to farming in the early 20th century. While teaching at the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama, he explored and rigorously tested various crop varieties and fertilizers, all in a quest to propagate sustainable agricultural practices. He recognized the adverse impact of cotton monoculture, and his work led to the promotion of alternative crops like sweet potatoes and peanuts. But the most intriguing part of his story involves something he did with one of these alternative crops, something that earned him a very peculiar nickname. But that, my dear listeners, you'll have to wait a bit longer to find out. What's up, my amazing and curious folks? Ready to dive into another deep sea of knowledge? I'm your host, Cesar Chagas, and with me, as always, is our brilliant commentator, Sonia. Together, we're set to unravel another fascinating mystery on the Curiosity Wonderland.
Hey there, folks. I'm stoked to be here, as always. Can't wait to dive into today's topic.
That's the spirit. And remember, folks, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so you won't miss a second of our deep dives into all things curious and amazing. Get ready, because knowledge is about to flow. All right, let's go back in time and meet this man of many talents, George Washington Carver. Born around the year 1864 near Diamond Grove, Missouri, Carver was a curious child with a deep fascination for plants. This curiosity led him to spend countless hours studying and experimenting with various plants, earning him the nickname the Plant Doctor within his local community. His journey into the world of formal education began at Simpson College in Indianola, Iowa, but he soon transferred to Iowa State Agricultural College, making history as the first Black American student to enroll at that institution. He didn't stop there, though. Carver went on to complete his master's degree in agricultural science at the same college, dedicating his time to research and making significant contributions to the field of agriculture. In 1896, Carver was presented with an opportunity that would shape the rest of his life and career. He accepted an invitation from Booker T. Washington to lead the agriculture department at the newly formed Tuskegee Institute in Alabama.
Hold on a sec. It's interesting to see how Carver was not just a scientist in the lab. He was deeply engaged in the practical side of things, directly impacting farmers' lives and the agricultural practices of his time. His work really underscores the importance of applying scientific knowledge for the benefit of society. It's also quite inspiring to see how he overcame the racial challenges of his time to establish himself as a pioneering scientist.
Indeed, his story is a testament to his resilience and the remarkable contributions he made, not only in the field of science, but also in paving the way for sustainable farming practices. And this is just the beginning. Wait until we delve into his work with peanuts and other crops. Carver's work at Tuskegee was multifaceted. He was not only an educator, but also a hands-on researcher. His work included testing various crop varieties, exploring the efficacy of different fertilizers, and even writing informative bulletins for local farmers.
So he was all about practical application, right?
Exactly. And he didn't dismiss cotton entirely. He even experimented with different cotton varieties and developed products like rope, twine, and paper from cotton fiber.
Really? So his focus wasn't just on peanuts and sweet potatoes?
Not at all. But he did recognize that the widespread cotton monoculture among Southern farmers was damaging the soil, leading to erosion. So he devoted much of his energy to studying natural fertilizers, crop rotation techniques, and promoting alternatives to cotton.
So he was basically trying to encourage more diverse and sustainable farming practices.
That's it. He even developed new uses for alternative crops, creating products as varied as soaps, cosmetics, adhesives, greases, and paints.
That's impressive, but did these products become commercially successful?
Sadly, despite his ingenuity, few of Carver's inventions caught on commercially. His main goal was not to make money, but to help the farming community with sustainable solutions. His legacy is truly remarkable, reflecting his devotion to farming, science, and sustainability. Now moving to another chapter of Carver's life, in the 1920s, his teaching load started to decrease, and he began making a serious effort to market some of his inventions. He formed the Carver Products Company with several businessmen from Atlanta. They managed to patent only 3 inventions, 2 for paint and 1 for cosmetics. Despite the fact that most of his inventions didn't become commercially successful and have now faded into obscurity, Carver's contributions to the field of chemergy, or as we know it today, biochemical engineering, are significant. His ingenuity in converting agricultural raw materials into industrial and consumer products earned him the title, the father of chemergy.
It sounds like his work was ahead of his time, predicting the importance of sustainable and renewable resources.
Absolutely. He once said, "I believe the great Creator has put oils and ores on this earth to give us a breathing spell. As we exhaust them, we must fall back on our farms, which is God's true storehouse and can never be exhausted. For we can learn to synthesize materials for every human need from the things that grow." And speaking of things that grow, let's talk about the peanut. Carver was fascinated by this plant. His work with peanuts was so extensive that he even earned the nickname the Peanut Man, following a legendary appearance before the House Ways and Means Committee in 1921.
So, was this when he developed all those hundreds of uses for peanuts?
Interestingly, while he did claim to have over 300 uses for peanuts, many of these were not original. What's more, peanut production was already well established in the South before Carver started promoting it. But his enthusiasm and dedication to finding innovative uses for this humble legume definitely helped to popularize it. Carver's work with peanuts was extensive. He provided a host of uses for the plant, including things as varied as cheese, milk, coffee, flour, ink, dyes, plastics, wood stains, soap, linoleum, medicinal oils, and cosmetics. He even claimed to have developed a type of peanut nitroglycerine.
That's quite a range. It's fascinating that he saw so much potential in a single plant.
Indeed. We must remember, though, that not all of his inventions were effective. For example, he developed a medication called Penol, an emulsion of peanuts and creosote, which he believed could cure respiratory disorders. However, it was later proven to be ineffective. Nevertheless, Carver's creativity was truly remarkable. In fact, he even devised a recipe for peanut and prune ice cream.
Peanut and prune ice cream. That's an unusual combination.
Unusual perhaps, but a testament to Carver's imaginative use of peanuts. But his work wasn't limited to just peanuts. He also spent quite a bit of time studying sweet potatoes.
He worked with sweet potatoes too?
Yes, he found over 100 different sweet potato products at that time. Some of his notable inventions using sweet potatoes included vinegar, molasses, postage stamp glue, a synthetic rubber, and even ink. Like peanuts, Carver saw great potential in sweet potatoes due to their adaptability to the southern soil and their nutritional value. Carver's exploration of the sweet potato's potential went far beyond just food items. His 1936 bulletin offers a wide range of applications, including recipes and instructions for creating sweet potato starch, sugar, donuts, and croquettes.
That's quite versatile.
In fact, he even developed 14 wood fillers, 73 dyes, and 5 library pastes from sweet potatoes. During a wheat shortage in 1918, Carver experimented with making flour from dried sweet potatoes. This idea was considered seriously by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, but the end of the war and the subsequent end of the wheat shortage meant that the demand for alternative sources of flour faded. Carver wasn't just limited to plants either. He also shared instructions for making paint from local clays in his extension bulletins, as he hoped that southern farmers would use them to beautify their homes. He even developed ceramics, wood stains, and face powder from native clays.
That's fascinating. So he was also creating beauty products?
Yes, and his curiosity didn't stop there. He was also interested in soybeans, likely from his days studying at the Iowa State Agricultural College. His work with the bean foreshadowed the many ways that soy is used in the marketplace today. He reportedly produced non-dairy cheeses, several baking flours, and a collection of other foods from soy. Carver's life was marked by relentless dedication to agricultural innovation and education. His immense contributions were recognized when the George Washington Carver National Monument was established near Diamond Grove, Missouri. This was the first national monument dedicated to a Black American and non-president, encompassing the farm where he was born, a nature trail, and a visitor center, highlighting his myriad achievements in science and agriculture. Carver was an agricultural scientist and inventor who developed hundreds of different products using materials from sweet potatoes, peanuts, and soybeans.
What was his most famous invention?
Some of Carver's best-known inventions include the concept of crop rotation. This is the practice of planting different crops in succession to restore soil instead of continuously planting a single crop. He also found 300 different uses for peanuts thanks to his work.
And who raised Carver?
Carver was raised on Moses Carver's farm. Moses was his mother's former enslaver, but after emancipation, he and his wife raised George as a free child.
Could you mention some more things Carver invented?
Certainly. Apart from the 300 uses for peanuts, Carver invented salted peanuts, chocolate-coated peanuts, peanut cooking oil, and even peanut-based dyes. His work brought peanuts and revolutionary agricultural practices into the mainstream.
Truly, his contributions to science and agriculture were monumental.
Absolutely. That's why he's an important figure in science history, and also why he has a dedicated national monument in his honor. Carver's work was so innovative and impactful for his time that he earned the nickname Black Leonardo. He was not only a scientist, but also a symbol of progress and innovation. His inventions, his research, and his advocacy for sustainable farming practices left an indelible mark on the world.
It's undeniable that Carver's work continues to influence our lives. From the food we eat to the clothes we wear, his contributions to agricultural science and industry resonate even today.
Absolutely. His story is an example of how curiosity, hard work, and a deep understanding of nature can lead to truly transformative discoveries. It's a testament to the power of scientific exploration and the profound impact it can have on society and our daily lives. Today we took a deep dive into the remarkable life of George Washington Carver, a botanist, agronomist, chemist, and inventor who revolutionized agriculture in the early 20th century. Carver's insatiable curiosity and dedication to helping farmers led him to develop hundreds of uses for peanuts, sweet potatoes, and soybeans. His work at the Tuskegee Institute shaped Southern agriculture, moving it away from a single crop focus on cotton to more diverse and sustainable farming practices.
Absolutely, Caesar. Carver's inventions may not all have caught on commercially, but they were an early example of how we can use renewable resources to meet our needs. And speaking of needs, if you enjoyed this episode, we need you to hit that like button.
That's right. And don't forget to share this episode with your friends and leave us a comment about your thoughts on George Washington Carver. We'd love to hear from you.
That's it for today's episode of Curiosity Wonderland. We hope you enjoyed our exploration of George Washington Carver's life and work. Stay curious.
Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, goodbye and keep learning. This fascinating insight about George Washington Carver comes from an article titled George Washington Carver, an Innovator Beyond His Era, penned by Mark Boyer. It was published on October 26, 2023, on the How Stuff Works website. If you want to dig deeper into this intriguing subject, the full URL is available in the video description. Time for me to head out, folks.